Great morning, great morning, great morning, great morning. And welcome to day 24 of our 40 Days of Kingdom Business Secrets. Today, we will be talking about the price that is required that we all pay in life. So it's entitled, What Price Will You Pay? Or better yet, I'm asking a question, What price will you pay? And this is a life question. So I want to say great morning to you. Great, beautiful, blessed morning to all of my sisters and even my brothers that join us live or watch the replay. We greatly appreciate you. Welcome to our channel. My name is Yakinea Marie of She CEO. I support women entrepreneurs in building themselves and their businesses. And so we come together often, whether we are coming from a book or we're coming from the Word of God, and we focus on a particular topic. All right. And so I want to say happy New Year's Eve to you. No, this is not New Year's Eve. Christmas Eve, is it? Yeah, Christmas Eve. I said New Year's. I guess I'm ready for the New Year. But it's almost here. Okay, almost here. I'm already thinking about 2023. So, All right. So, what price will you pay? I want you to put that in your book and in your journal and just ask yourself, what price am I willing to pay? And when I say that, when I ask that question, I want you to ask yourself, what price am I willing to pay to reach my goals in life? And you can break each one of them down. I was at the gym yesterday, and one of the workers there asked he was asking everybody the question. I really didn't hear him asking. I was in my own little world. I was reading something, and then he came around the corner. He said, Yakinea, what are your resolutions? And I said, hmm. He said, yes. What are your New Year's resolutions? And I looked and I said, I don't I don't have any resolutions. I don't make resolutions. And he said, oh. I said, I said, because I work to start thinking like before the new year come and start planning before the new year come and start doing before the new year come. And then he said, oh, okay. Then he walked around the corner. Then I asked him, I said, what made you ask me that question? He said, oh, I was asking everybody that question. I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, in the new year, my goal is to be a better person and to add more value to people. That is one of my main goals. He was like, oh, okay, that's good. Because overall, we have our financial goals, we have our business goals, we have our health goals, we have our relationship goals, we have our spiritual goals, and so we even our mental goals, but whatever your resolution is, your goal is, whatever word you want to put to it, you have to pay a price to get it. You have to pay a price to get it. Whether that means, like yesterday, I was folding clothes, a lot of them, okay? But yesterday I was folding clothes, and normally my pastime, I may watch a movie while I'm folding clothes or something like that. But I wanted to read this particular book, and I was just like, you know what? Let me go to Audible because I had already ordered the book itself, and so I was reading another book, so I hadn't touched that book yet. And I'm like, I really want to read that book. And so I said, let me go to Audible because then I can listen to the book, because I like listening to books on audio. I like reading them too because I like to write in the books. And so instead of me watching a movie, I decided to listen to the book, right? And it's like 10 hours of read time in the book, but I was able to get through a little over an hour of the book, right? And so, and I just sit there listening, and I was like, wow, that's good. Now, although I'm not able to take notes like I typically take, because normally when I listen to audiobooks, I'm either driving or I am doing something, but it's feeding my mind, and I'm able to say, and then I go back and then I'll read the book as well. Okay, especially if it's really, really, really good. Okay, and so But I had to pay a price, and the price that I paid was my unwillingness to entertain myself, but instead feed myself, feed my mind. Why? Because it's a skill set that I want to learn. It's a skill set that I want to learn that I'm not a master at, not even close to it. Right. And so, in order to, I can't just say I want a thing, but I'm not willing to put in the work to learn how to do the thing. I can't say I want a thing and I'm not willing to implement the strategies, the hacks, the tips that are taught by the expert, the master. So, what price are you willing to pay? Because we all will have to pay a price. It's almost like saying, I want to lose weight, but every day you eat poorly. You understand? It's like saying, I want to have a thriving relationship, but you date the first thing that come ask you out, you know, or jumping in the bed with them the first day you meet them. All right. So we can say, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And it's easy to make goals, it's easy to write things down. But what price are you willing to pay? What are you willing to give up temporarily in order to have that right there? Some people say they want to grow spiritually, but they never want to spend time with God. I remember years ago, I was like, man, I want to learn how to speak Spanish. I want to learn how to speak Spanish. You know what I'm saying? And got the program to this was years ago. I'm talking this is when, this is when AOL email was coming out. Okay. This was like 20 years ago, 22 years ago. No, this is 20 years ago. And so I got the CD set that you pop in and it teaches you how to speak Spanish or whatever the case may be. Well, because I didn't pay the price. I didn't give up XYZ so I could really learn how to speak Spanish. You know what I'm saying? I could say sí. I could say gracias, muy bien, de nada. That's about it. And then my husband has this program, this audio program that teaches you word by word, sentence by sentence, and all this stuff. And I started on it, but then I stopped. Got distracted. You understand? I got disinterested, whichever one you want to say. But I wasn't willing to pay the price. Not, I'm sure eventually I will pay the price. But if you want a thing, you have to pay the price. You have to pay the price. That's the moral of the story. All right. And sometimes we get off track because we either don't want to learn or we're distracted with something else or we prefer to do something else. Okay. But you just have to make up in your mind, what do you want to do? Okay. What do you want to do? Let me define. I want to define cost for you because it's going to cost you something. Okay. When you pay the price, it has cost you something. So cost means the price paid to acquire, produce, accomplish, or maintain anything. It is the price paid to acquire. We're going over into a new year. What price are you willing to pay? It's going to cost you something. The price paid to produce, the price paid to accomplish, the price paid to maintain. It's almost like athletes. I remember I used to be an athlete. I was, I know people don't think cheerleading is a sport, but it is. Okay. Um, I was a cheerleader. What you said, babe? It's in the Olympics. Okay, well, thank you for your vote of confidence. I appreciate it. He's, you know what? I feel shade all behind me. He talks of cheerleading is in the Olympics. Was that shade? Is cheerleading in the Olympics for real? He said no. He no straight hater move, straight hater move. Anyway, but cheerleader, it can be. They do. They have major competitions all over the world. Thank you very much, sir. And then I ran track. Okay, I ran track, and so I remember when I was at practicing track or whatever the case would be, and I was trying to learn the hurdles. I was real fast. I was real fast. But as far as the hurdles is concerned, I I attempted to learn the hurdles after so many times. I think I don't know if my first or second time. I don't know. I tried to jump over that thing and hit my leg, hit the thing, and I failed, started rolling or whatever. I'm like, I am going to stick to the long distance. That's my strength. So then that was my strength. But we ran and we ran and we ran and we ran to get better and to get faster and to get better and to get faster. Right? We wasn't hanging out with our friends and doing this and doing this. We were at practice. It had to cost us something, and we were sore afterward from all the running and the cramps and me, and I remember because I never was diagnosed with asthma, but whenever I ran and ran and ran, by the end of the race, I mean, I passed out every single time. Not one time did I was I standing on my feet. I literally passed out because I couldn't breathe. But during the race, I could breathe. But as soon as I stopped, it's like my body had to just lay out for me to catch my second wind. Okay, and but that's the price I was willing to pay. That's the pain I was willing to go through in order to achieve that. Yesterday, I was actually because I did two workouts yesterday, so I was at the gym for about 2 hours yesterday. So I did the first set, which entailed just weights, okay, and then I did the second set, which entails um, the treadmill and all of that stuff. I work at Orange Theory, so they have a structure to it. You don't just walk in the gym and you just like, okay, I'm gonna do this today. No, they have a. It's like everybody work in groups. You understand, and they kind of guide you and do this, run this fast, go up this hill, and all this stuff like that. So when we had the intense weight segment and I wanted to stay. So when that was over, I waited until it was time for the next one, the next training. And so I went in there and then I got on the treadmill. As soon as I got on the treadmill, they have these really good treadmills that they kind of go with your weight and your steps and all of that. And so I was in there and I set a goal. I said, well, you could get in the orange zone. Okay. I'm not going to go and tell you the definitions of all these things, but the orange zone is like the key zone you want to get into. And you want to stay in that zone at least 12 minutes. Okay. 12 minutes. And that's when your body start burning fat and that burn stays with you throughout the day. All right, especially if you're eating clean, but it stays with you throughout the day. So it could be hours later and your body is still burning. All right, I'm learning something about the body. Metabolic, I think I did right. Anyway, and so I set a goal when I was reading that because that's what I was reading. I was reading the different colors: gray, blue, green, orange, red. Okay, red is when your heart rate is like boom, 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 boom. But they don't want you to really stay in that zone for over a minute. Okay, although I done stayed in that zone over a minute. So when I was reading the thing, I looked and I said, okay, I'm going to stay in this. I'm going to stay in the orange zone at least 15 minutes. This is what I'm telling myself. I'm gonna stay in the orange zone because the coach will tell you, okay, it's time to take a break. So we just kind of walk a little slow, and then it's time to all out pace. And so you running, and then we was on some days you're on the incline, running up the hill, running, sweating, hurting, barely can breathe, but you get it in, right? And so yesterday, 1 minute in, I was just, you get on the treadmill and you just do slow pace. 1 minute in, my feet start stinging underneath my feet, right? And I know it's just all the pounding and pounding and pounding. So my feet start stinging, and I was like, "Am I gonna?" I had just set a goal with myself. Didn't tell anybody. This is my own personal goal. Me against me. All right. Somebody type in "me against me." You don't have to because kings don't have to compete against kings. Okay. So me against me, and so I'm talking to myself. I was like, because every time I stepped my feet was stinging. And I told myself, I was like, okay, am I going to be able to, do I need to come off the treadmill? Is it wisdom to stay on the treadmill? I'm having I'm having this inner conversation with myself. Should I stay on the treadmill? Maybe I'm gonna tell the coach, because they have a coach that coaches us. I'm gonna tell the coach, maybe I need to come. I need to just kind of walk this one out today, not really just run. You know, when she say run. And then I was having this conversation, and I said, "Well, no, you're gonna stay on. You're gonna do this." And so by the 1 minute mark, I started jogging. You know, I started jogging, just like slowly jogging, right? And then I'm working to get up to the orange zone, because you start off with gray, and then you work your way up to blue, and then you work your way up to green. And then now that means your heart, your body is getting more active, your endurance is getting higher, and then bam, once you get up to, I think it's 84%, then you get up to the orange zone. Once I got up to the orange zone, my goal was not to fall below the orange zone. I wanted to, now sometimes you may fall when the coach said, okay, now just slow pace. And so we walk slow. But my goal was to get up to the orange zone and stay there for at least 15 minutes. Now, the instructions say at least 12. I set a goal of 15, minimum 12, but I said my target is 15. Don't go under the orange zone, Yakinea. Stay under. I don't care what's hurting, what's stinging, what's cramping. Do not go under the orange zone. Me against me. Nobody knew my goal. It's about, on the treadmill, there may be about 10 of us on the treadmill. Then we got people behind us on the roars, okay? And so and then I start off my slow pace jog, and I'm at the orange zone. And I got to keep it at least 84 or higher. Between 84 and 91%, you stay in the orange zone. 92% and above, you're in the red zone. And I'm jogging, slow pace jogging. And then all of a sudden, it was like 86, and then it dropped to 85, and it was about to, see, 84 is like right there in between the orange and the green. And I was like, So I turned my thing up. On the treadmill so I could go a little faster. See, now the coach didn't say run yet. Everybody else, they slow walking. They slow. You know what I'm saying? They're at the base. It's called base level. They're at their base level. I'm the only one jogging. But everybody don't know. And I saw two people look over at me like, why is she jogging? I don't know if that's what they was thinking, but they looked over at me, but I was focused. I could just see them at my peripheral. It didn't matter. This my goal, me against me. So I'm jogging a little faster. And then all of a sudden, the coach said, okay, we're going to go 4 minutes straight. Give it your best. So then I raise it up, and then I go 4 minutes. Now running 4 minutes. And then she said, okay, hit base. Base means come back down. Now you can start walking. Guess what? I didn't start walking. I just slowed it down to a slower run pace. So now I'm from running to jogging. I'm jogging. Why? Because I got to stay 15 minutes. I set a goal 15 minutes to stay in the orange zone. Sometimes I went over to the red, which was cool, because it's better to go higher than it is to go lower. You understand? Because when you're running, your heart pace go up. And so now I'm 92%. Now you're red zone. I'm 95%. I'm 96%. That's what I'm sweating. My heart is beating. Boom, boom, boom. And then when she said, okay, base pace, I don't go base. I turn it down to a jog and not a walk. And I did that, and I got my 15 minutes in. Actually, I got 19 minutes in, because when around my 15-minute time mark, that's when she was like, okay, let's hit it, fast pace, 4 minutes. Well, then, so that just gave me an extra 4 minutes. So for 19 minutes, I was between jogging and running, mostly running, because we was doing 4-minute increments, straight running. The price you have to pay. And guess what? Once I really got focused, I never noticed the pain stinging in my feet again. So I want you guys to ask yourself, when it gets hard, when it starts burning, when it gets painful, when it gets uncomfortable, are you going to give up? Or are you going to stick to what you say you're going to do and pay the price? Because it's going to cost you. To reach your goals is going to cost you. There's no way around it. It's going to cost you. There's a scripture in the Bible. There's a scripture in the Bible, Galatians chapter 5, verses 1. It says, stand fast, therefore, in the liberty. Liberty means freedom. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty, the freedom by which Christ has made us free. Stand fast in the liberty by which Christ has made us free, and do not be entangled again with a yoke of bondage. When we are willing to pay the price, it gives us access to a level of freedom that other people won't walk in, won't have access to, because they're unwilling to pay the price. Let me give you an example. It's like a parent, and maybe you fell on hard times. Maybe you stepped out on your own as a young kid. Maybe you had good morning. maybe my husband is so funny. Okay, maybe you was a teen mom or whatever the case may be. And so you start off life, right? Making some mistakes, making some errors, making some learning, having some learning moments in your life. And you decide, you know what? I don't like the way I'm going. I want to create something better for my children, right? And maybe you're living in the projects or something, or maybe you are in a bad relationship, or whatever the case may be. And let's use the projects for a second, because I've seen this happen. I know a girl right now who she was in the projects with her kids and everything, and she decided to step out and start a business. She was petrified, terrified to start this business. I mean, just like, oh. But she said, you know what, I'm going to do it. She's talking herself into it. She's talking herself in, I got to pay this price. If I want to get out of these projects, I got to pay this price. I got to pay this price. I can't be sitting, hanging out, going to the club with my friends every weekend. I can't be, no. I got to pay this price because I got to get my children up out of this situation. And she said, you know what? And I just posted it out there on social media. Hey, guys, I'm in business. This is what I do. She said, I put it out there. I was so terrified. I was so just, But she stepped out because she wanted the freedom that comes with paying the price. Needless to say, she got her first client. Then she got her second client. Then she got a third client, and so forth and so forth. Then she had to hire people to come work with her, right? Now she went from just being a solopreneur to now being a CEO boss, because now she got employees. And now the girl is, of course, she's out of the projects, running a multi-six-figure company, because she stepped out and she was willing to pay a price that opened the door to a level of freedom for she and her family. Freedom, personal liberty, as opposed to bondage or slavery. The power to determine action without restraint. Oh, that's good right there. Freedom is the power to determine action without restraint. I heard a gentleman say this right here. He said, this was actually Dr. Myron Golden. This was a powerful statement that he said. He said, freedom, it gives you the power to choose. Freedom. It's almost like being financially free, as some people say. Financially free. Financially free gives you the power to walk into a store and buy whatever you want to buy. Go to a restaurant and eat whatever you want to eat. You don't have to look at the prices. Travel to whatever country you want to travel to. Give at a level you understand you want to give at. You want to give $1,000, but you don't have it, so you give 100. But the financial freedom allows you to give 10,000 if you want to, 100,000 if you want to. Freedom. What price are you willing to pay? I want you to really think through that. I know tomorrow we celebrate the birth of Jesus. I don't really celebrate the tradition of Christmas as much as I celebrate the birth of Jesus. What I mean by that is sometimes, and it's unfortunate that we give so much attention to gift giving, which it's nothing wrong with giving gifts. Absolutely nothing wrong. I think it's a blessing to put smiles on people's face and make people feel all bubbly on the inside and loving on your family. I look forward to going up there with my family tomorrow and fellowshipping with friends and family and the kids doing their thing. Okay. But the error that we make is we put so much attention on gifts and not the gift. We put attention on a gift and not the gift. The gift being Jesus, Yeshua, right? And so now all the kids, they're just around the Christmas tree, and they're opening gifts. Nobody is celebrating the birth of Jesus. In these times today, don't nobody celebrate the birth of Jesus at all. Far in between. Your children, they you posting pictures on social media, you got toys, you got this, this. And this is why our kids, they grow up thinking and they continue the tradition. And the tradition is, how many gifts can we get? What's the biggest gift we could get? The most expensive gift we could get? And that's all they think. And so we breed selfishness into our children. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying don't give your child a gift. If that's what you want to do, you do that, right? But I'm saying have a conversation with your child about the reason for the season. And then really, when you really study out Christmas for real, you'll understand that Christmas is a pagan holiday. All right. But one of the things I know is this right here. You can take anything pagan, wrap Jesus around it, and Christians, they'll just be deceived and just be like, because God is on it. You understand? That's a whole nother story. This broadcast ain't about this, right? But my thing is, if you're going to celebrate the holiday, really celebrate the holiday. You understand? Really celebrate the holiday of Christmas. Really sit down and let's get your kids before they open one gift. For those who give gifts, before they open one gift, sit down with your children, open up the Bible, and talk to them about the story of Jesus. You understand? Make that a tradition in your family that they understand what Jesus did for them. The real gift, the true gift. Make them understand that what I'm about to tell you, this is not a gift, this is the gift. This is the ultimate gift. He paid the ultimate price for your life and mine. And have your children understanding this, not just on a day, but have them understanding this on every single day. So they'll be happy. See, I had to really, that Jayla Bug, she's a child, so she wants her gifts and all this stuff, whatever. But we started grooming her. Not grooming like a puppy, but conditioning her mind a couple of years ago, right? Conditioning her mind a couple of years ago about this holiday so she could really understand. And so Jayla, she has a heart to give, especially to those who are in transition and homelessness. You understand? So she has a real heart to give now. She likes stuff. Don't get it twisted. But she really has a heart to give. But so you want to instill that into your children. Jayla have gone to multiple places with me when we were feeding the homeless or serving a family that we adopted or something like that. Because I wanted her to be a part of it. I wanted her to see, life is bigger than just you and yours. And you want to instill this in your children. Take them somewhere. Go buy some food for somebody and have your child passing it out to the people. Instill this principle in them. Because all this money we make anyway, all this money is not ours. It's not. It's not. I was saying this yesterday. I said, Lord, first of all, I thank you for blessing my husband and I with the resources to be able to be givers. I thank you that we have an understanding of the power of giving. You understand? Because people have masses of money that they hoard, and they don't want to give nobody nothing. Not understanding this money is not yours. This money is God's. He allows you to have it and to be blessed from it because you have the resources to buy this. But when God touch your heart or show you an opportunity to be a blessing, and he said, okay, this is your opportunity because you're not supposed to give to everybody, okay? But if God touch your heart and say, yeah, I want you to be a blessing to them. You do it. And you say, God, I thank you for giving me seed to sow. Lord, I thank you. Amen. Amen. So happy Christmas Eve to you all. I'll see you tomorrow. If you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. Click the notification button. Click like if I said at least one thing that blessed you. Make sure that you share the broadcast. And I'll see you on tomorrow, December the 21st, as we celebrate the ultimate gift. That is Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. God bless you all. Have a wonderful Saturday.